welcome back to another episode on Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm an anxiety coach who helps people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally. On today's episode, what I am going to be talking about is calmness and how being calm and having a calm state of mind can really help you with your anxiety. Because the reason why we're struggling with anxiety, the reason why we have an anxiety disorder, and this is something that we always need to remember why we're struggling with anxiety, because it gives us clarity, is because our sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for our fight and fight mode, aka anxiety, is not properly functioning. And the reason why it's not functioning properly is because from years and years and years from stress, worry, and pressure. And I know a lot of people tell me this, that I never experienced like so much worry in my life or in the past. Like I wasn't a worried person or I wasn't a very stressful person. But whenever I start exploring it with them and I make them realize like, hey, listen, this is stress. This is worry. This can put a lot of pressure on a person. It can really affect somebody. And this can be going on for years unconsciously, that you may not have never realized that after a while, a certain event happened and it pushed your sympathetic nervous system into overdrive. And this is one of the reasons why we have anxiety. Now, what we need to do, it's actually the main reason why. Now, what we need to do is repair the sympathetic nervous system. If you want to overcome our anxiety, we need to first repair our sympathetic nervous system. We have to bring it back to the way it was so that it's able to handle the fight and fight mode. It's able to handle our stress, worry, and pressure. And what we need to do, what it needs, our body and mind right now, what it needs is calmness. If you realize whenever you're feeling stress, you're having so much pressure in your life, or you're worried about something, your anxiety starts to increase, right? Even though you have an anxiety disorder and you're freaking out throughout most of the day, but whenever you have those moments of stress, worry, and pressure, all of a sudden your anxiety is way worse. Like, for example, if you are worried that you may have a panic attack if you go to this certain place, your anxiety starts to increase because of the worry, because of the stress, because of the pressure that you're having right now. That's the reason why. Because again, your sympathetic nervous system can't handle it right now. And what we need to do is to start being in a calmer state of mind. Now, a lot of people say that's much easier said than done. And of course it is. Of course, because we're so used to thinking in a certain way. And this is what I do a lot of people with my sessions, is that I deal with the subconscious mind. I deal with the child within, because with the child within, what happens is that we're able to explore and also to make us aware of our struggles, our pressures, our worries, why we think the way we think. It all started since we were a kid, and what we do is go back to that place and start rewiring the child within and start rewiring our brain and our emotions, and also to heal it so that it can take off the stress, it can take off the worry and the pressure, and be able to find calmness. This is very, very powerful. Now, in generally speaking, throughout the day, we can do things. We can do things in order for us to be much calmer. Like, for example, the breathing exercise or meditation. And some people say like, hey, you know what? I've been doing meditation and it hasn't been helping me. Yeah. It may not help you to where you want it to be, but you have to understand the sympathetic nervous system, it's going to take a while for it to heal itself. So we need to be consistent with it. Like I personally used to go once a week for, I don't know how long, but for a good I think over a year or so, that I used to go to meditation classes every single Wednesday night. I think it was at 8 p.m. and I used to pay every single week, and there used to be a teacher, and there used to be like 20 people, which was really nice. And he would walk us through the meditation, and walking out of there after an hour, I felt like I was on cloud nine. And I did this for over a year, and it really, really helped me. Because again, what I'm doing at that moment, even though it's once a week, is that I'm helping to reheal my sympathetic nervous system. That's what we need. We need to start taking off the stress, worry, and pressure. Now, here, for example, like we're doing the breathing exercise. People say like, oh, the breathing exercise doesn't really help me. Like I still feel anxious afterwards. Yeah, you are going to feel anxious. You may feel anxious afterwards, but the whole entire point is starting to bring in the calmness into your life. And this is why I recommend people do it 3 times a day. Do it morning, afternoon, nighttime. Take about 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be the whole day. It can be 10 minutes a day. Start off with that, or start off with once a day. Once a day in the morning, starting off in your morning, starting in a calm kind of way. 10 minutes, that's all you need. So that way we're able to, again, bring in the calmness. This is why some people take, let's say, for example, the chamomile tea, right? There's some natural remedies, or the CBD, right? The calming CBD that I provide to people that helps them to calm down, because again, what you're doing is rehealing your sympathetic nervous system. You're healing it. And that's what we need right now. Again, there's going to be times where your anxiety is going to be higher than that you want it to be. And you may feel like you're going backwards, but healing your sympathetic nervous system is going to be that way. That's the way it's going to be. It happens to every single person. It happened to me. It happened to me where I had days I felt amazing. I'm like, yes, I'm finally over it. And all of a sudden, boom, I'm back to square one, it feels like. But you have to understand that you're never going to be back to square one. You're always going to be improving and getting to the point where eventually your sympathetic nervous system is going to heal itself. Now, other ways that we can start to heal ourselves is by building up our confidence, is by building our self-esteem. Because when a person has a low self-esteem, what happens is that we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. We get worried really quickly. We have a lot of stress in our life because of our self-esteem. And this is why I tell people, work on your self-esteem. Self-esteem takes off so much of the pressure. It takes off so much of the stress that you have in life, because you're no longer stressing about what people are going to think about you. You're no longer stressing about what is going to happen, and you're just going to feel much better. You're not going to be worried that things aren't going to work out the way you want it to be. You're no longer going to be a perfectionist. See, that's another thing. We are perfectionists, and we have to let go. We are going to make mistakes. Whenever we don't want to make a mistake, that puts a lot of pressure. And the reason why we don't want to we don't want to make a mistake is because of our self-esteem. That means, oh, you see, I made a mistake. That means I'm no good. That means I'm not a good person. But that's far from the truth, because the truth is you are a good person. You do good things. You have done good things. There are good things about you, but the only problem is that we have never been shown that or have been told that or anything like that. And all we do is that we are hard on ourselves. And whenever we're hard on ourselves, what does that do? What does that create? It creates more pressure. We're not calm. Whenever we make a mistake, we create more pressure. And we have to learn how to be okay with that. Now, that's going to take some time to learn, and that's something that I did. I came to learn that, hey, I can't be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes, but I am valuable regardless of that. Regardless of making mistakes, it doesn't define who I am. And that what's really helped me to calm down and actually get me out of my anxiety, because of the way I viewed myself and the value that I saw myself completely changed. It changed the way I interacted with people. It changed my entire belief system about who I am and what I'm capable of, because beforehand, I didn't believe that I was capable of anything and I would just be nobody. Like, I would just think that way of myself, like I'm a nobody. But the truth is I am somebody, and I have something valuable, and I have something amazing to bring. But whenever I changed my entire mindset from the negative, and I tell people this, try to think more positively. Positivity will help you to feel much calmer. That will take away the anxiety, because you automatically look at it in a different way. Like, for example, if you're afraid of going somewhere because you think something bad is going to happen, say to yourself, what are some good things that can happen? What are some positive things that can happen? Or if you have a job interview and you're afraid of the job interview and telling like, oh, I'm not going to make it, I'm not going to get it, they're going to reject me. Instead of saying to yourself that, tell yourself that, you know what, they're going to accept me because I'm the best candidate that they're going to have. Because I am amazing and I have value and I have something to bring to the table that nobody else does. And that's the truth. Really, really do. Each person is definitely unique. They have their own uniqueness. No two people in this world are the same, not even twins. Twins that are identical twins, that are in the same exact, they're the same egg, they may look the same, but their characteristics completely different. My brother-in-law, he's a twin, identical twin. Him and his brother are completely different people. Their personality is different. So you're never going to have the same people. But we need to, again, guys, look at the good that we do have, the positives that we do have, to get to the point of being more calm throughout the entire day. What can I do? What can I instill? Do I need to take a walk? That's going to help me. I do that. That's something that helps me to calm myself down. Like, hey, you know what? I need to take a walk in nature. It brings me back to my place that I want to be. So there are things that could help you. There are things that is going to help you. You got to figure that out, what helps you to calm down, and do those things throughout the day so that you could feel much calmer, so that you could start repairing your sympathetic nervous system, so that you can stop putting so much pressure and worry and stress on it, for it to be able to handle your anxiety in the right way. And this is why, guys, I'm anxiety free for over 9 years. Because of this, because of the mindset that I built, building my self-esteem, building my self-confidence, thinking more positive, changing the negative to more positive. And that's not an easy thing to do, of course. But what I also did was subtle things like, for example, the meditation classes, the breathing exercise, taking walk in parks, going to the beach, listening to calm music, watching funny things. Like I would never watch something that's a thriller or something intense. I watch something that's more calming, because that way I can actually feel much better. I'll take, again, my night routine when I'm going to sleep. I have a routine before I go to bed. My wife thinks I'm crazy. It's like about an hour routine. She's like, every single night, it takes you an hour to get to bed, because I have a certain routine that I get into, and I've been doing this for years, so that once I get into bed, I am out. I'm going to sleep, because my body already knows, like, hey, I'm going to sleep, get prepared. But just going to sleep from being active and just going straight to bed, it's very hard. And also we're sitting up all night. We can't fall asleep. But we have to do things and tell ourselves, okay, what can help you to feel calmer? Now, it could be that your job is stressing you out also. It could be that your family members, it could be your spouse. It could be certain things in your life that's causing you stress. But that's something we need to figure out how we can handle that. If the job is too stressful for you, maybe sometimes we need to take a step backwards and tell ourselves, hey, you know what? Okay, the job is creating too much stress for me. Maybe I can find a different job that isn't as stressful. Now, some people may say, but hey, I'm getting paid really good over here. And I understand that. I had this situation a few years ago of somebody who owns a barbershop, and he was making really good money, but he wasn't happy. And he was getting very stressed out, and he had a lot of anxiety. And he was getting worse, and his performance was starting to decline, and he didn't know what to do. He's like, listen, I have so many bills. Like, what do I do? So you can slowly start pivoting out of there. Start looking at different jobs. Start looking at different things. Explore. Try different things to see, okay, maybe I can start doing something else. And maybe you might need to take a pay cut a little bit in order for your mental health to get much better. And I know that's not easy. But you have to ask yourself, look at the long term. Look at the long term. Is it worth it or not? Is it worth your mental health or not? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. And if it's not, then we need to take a step back, or we need to try something else in order for us to get back to where we are right now in a much healthier kind of way. So we got to figure out, okay, what's stressing me out? Write that down. Figure it out. Okay, this person is stressing me out. And me personally, I've cut off people in my life, unfortunately, people that I loved, people, friends, family members, because of the stress that they caused me, because of the toxic that they had within them. I had to distance myself, even work, even jobs. I have left because of that, because it wasn't good for me. And of course, it's not easy, especially when you have a family, you got a lot of bills, and there's a lot of things going on, and it's not an easy thing. But I found myself something else. I said to myself, okay, right now I'm going to sit over here, but I'm going to try to find something else that's going to benefit me, that's going to do much better for me, that I'm going to feel much better. I may be comfortable over here and I already know the people, but it's toxic and it's not good for me. And that's what I did. In order for my mental health is very important, in order for my mental health to be good. And that's going to require some sacrifice. And it's not an easy thing, guys. I know that it's not. It's not an easy thing. But take it step by step. Figure out, number one, what's stressing me out. Number two, what can I do to help myself to calm down outside of that situation, right? Taking walks, going to the beach, whatever it is that's going to help you to feel much calmer. Number three, okay, now how do I deal with those situations that are stressing me out? The people that are stressing me out, do I need to cut them out? Do I need to explain to them? Do I need to come up to them and tell them, like, hey, listen, this is really bothering me. Can you please stop? I don't like it when you do this and this and that. Whatever it is. Or in your job, you can do the same exact thing. Or find a different job. In the meantime, work where you are right now and try to find something else that's going to be less stressful. Things that's going to be more positive, that's going to empower you, that's going to help you. You understand? There are jobs out there like that are not toxic. So that's what we want to do. And also working on our self-esteem, working on our self-confidence, working on our positive thinking in order for us to feel much calmer. And this way, we're able to heal our sympathetic nervous system and get out of anxiety. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people. And the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys. Take care. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.